Kwanzaa, and he's already covered certain aspects of that religious experience. And so, Dr. AAl-Hadid, let's pick up where we left off during the first segment and have you to continue our discussion.
Yeah, the key thing to understand in Kwanzaa is that Kwanzaa is literally a celebration of African-American culture, family, and community. So let's talk about the idea of culture. One of the things that Maulana Karenga observed in 1966 is that African Americans had an identity crisis. It was the era of black power. It was the era of the civil rights movement. And Maulana Karenga, along with some of the other nationalist groups such as the Nation of Islam and some of the Pan-Africanist group, they said, well, the key thing is not so much integration or desegregation. The most important thing for African Americans is we need to return to the values and the culture of, first of all, our ancient mothers and fathers from Africa, and secondly, to return to those values that we acquired once we got over here in the African diaspora, whether it was working on the plantations or during the period of Reconstruction. There were certain core values, you know, like reverence for ancestors, respect for elders, and sharing and caring. And so he wanted to see if we could put those values back together so that we could create a united front to wage struggle against white supremacy and racism, as opposed to the other groups who are trying to dismantle racism and capitalism through the process of assimilation and you know, integration. And so that, and when we speak of culture, we're talking about that structured and patterned way by which peoples of African descent carry on their lifestyles. It includes their values, their norms, their customs, their religion, their beliefs, their ideologies, their technology, everything that they do. Basically, you could say that culture is the personality of a people. And as you know, during that period of the of Jim Crow, one of the things that we use as a basis for unification is that we use our culture and we use our religious institutions. But now that the barriers of, the legal barriers of segregation have disappeared, we still need another way of coming together, because the paradigm is shifting now from a conversation about color and race to a conversation about culture and language.
Good.
So now we have to compete in the open society with various ethnic groups who are unified because of their ethnicity. Say, for example, the Hispanics constitute an ethnic group as opposed to a racial group, or the Japanese, the Chinese. All these groups are bonded together because of their ethnicity, more so than being bonded together because of a reaction to white supremacy or reaction to racism. And you can see how the other ethnic groups that have come over, say the Irish, they came over with their culture, they came over with a language. Or the Italians came over with a language and with a culture. And now we see the Hispanics